It looks as though CNN is simping for a cause lateral to like health at every size or body positivity after the outlet recently put out a sympathy piece about how fat people are facing a potential human rights issue. Their words, not mine. For having to buy extra plane seats in circumstances where their rotund mass encompasses a surface area that exceeds that of a single seat. My name's Greg Hoyt, and we're going to go ahead and dive into the meat and potatoes of this CNN story that tries to make a victim out of fat people, here on The Breakdown.
And I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe. And I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made it.
On June 12th, a freelance journalist writing for CNN Travel penned a fluff piece, let's call it that, regarding how morbidly obese people have to buy extra plane seats in instances where their fat asses are just too big for a single seat. More specifically, the brunt of the story focused on a woman by the name of Jalen Cheney, who happens to be one of the morbidly obese people who are very upset that there are circumstances where they have to buy extra plane seats. Now, if the picture to my right doesn't illustrate this already, it's blatantly obvious that Cheney is the type of person who needs to buy multiple plane seats just based upon her body mass. Heck, even the accompanying caption for the photo featured on the CNN Travel article reads, "Cheney is seen sitting in between 2 airplane seats on a Southwest Airlines flight to Kona, Hawaii." At the onset of the article, Cheney is bemoaning how there's no uniform, standardized policy amongst all airlines on how to address fat flyers. "We need the policies to be a little bit more standardized," Cheney tells CNN Travel. "At the bare minimum, we need every airline to have a policy that tells people of size how to navigate their airline." Okay, so we can tell Cheney is one of those people, the people who utilize the phraseology of people of, people of color, or in this case, people of size. So we know exactly where this woman is coming from. She's clearly an entitled, far-left personality, or at the very least, entitled and extremely liberal. Now, after the article went into how Canada, has policies with their domestic airlines that does not charge fat people for taking up extra seats, as well as the article also going into how Cheney is making herself out to be a victim because she has to use seatbelt extenders. The article then goes on to spotlight a petition crafted by, you guessed it, Cheney, where she's demanding the US government adopt policies like Canada, making it so that way fat people who take up multiple seats on a plane do not have to pay extra money. Cheney's petition reads in part, "Provide additional accessible seats. To ensure a safe and comfortable flying experience for all passengers, airlines should provide accessible additional seats to customers of size who require more physical space on planes or encroach onto another passenger space. These passengers should be provided with an extra free seat or even multiple seats to accommodate their needs and ensure their comfort and safety, as well as those around them during the flight." Southwest Airlines and Canadian transportation carriers have set a precedent for policies like this by providing additional seats for those who physically require it. The ultimate goal is to provide a positive flying experience for all, which means prioritizing the comfort of those on board while ensuring safety for everyone. By implementing official customer of size policies, airlines can ensure that all passengers have a positive flight experience regardless of their size or physical needs. Well, it's obvious that the gluttony surrounding the entitled obese population doesn't just start and end with seconds and thirds of food. Because as we see with people like Cheney, they want multiple seats for the price of one normal size seat, with the only reason being that they're fat. Like, good lord, the morbidly obese, they're already getting the best bang for their buck at places like Hometown Buffet and Golden Corral. You think they would just take that W and run with it. But no, not only do they have to have excesses at the buffet, for the same price that normal people pay, they also want excesses in terms of surface area on the plane for the same price for someone who has a normal-shaped body. But the silliness with this CNN travel article isn't just the, petition put forth by Cheney. You actually have the author of the article putting forth the idea that because people like Cheney, aka the morbidly obese, need to cough up a little extra cash to, take up additional surface area on a plane, the author suggests that this is a human rights issue. The article goes on to quote a Canadian air passenger rights advocate by the name of Gabor Lukács, who frames this manufactured fiasco as a human rights issue. Being a large person is not a choice, as many people mistakenly believe. There is, unfortunately, a lot of negative attention and prejudice against plus-size people. But it's not as if someone is getting up in the morning and making a decision that they're going to be a large person. So through that lens of human rights, I don't see any justification for charging these people a double fare. That Lukács character, his claim that people don't have a choice in the size of their body mass, particularly large body mass, that is only a half-truth. Like, say for instance, I don't think Shaquille O'Neal had any say in him, growing up to be 7'1". But when somebody is toting around a body that is, literally shaped like a dreidel, yeah, chances are very, very, very high, probably 99.9% of the time, that it was their personal choices that led to them having a body shaped like Grimace. I mean, there's so much absurdity in this argument being put forth by folks like Cheney and this, fat human rights issue advocate or whatever person from Canada. There's so much absurdity in this argument, it's difficult to know where to start, but, here are a few obvious flaws. Demanding that obese flyers who encompass more than one seat be treated to a fare equal to passengers who only take up one seat would be like demanding that larger cabin SUVs be priced synonymously with smaller cabin sedans. It would be like demanding larger portions of food to satiate a fat person's hunger be priced equivalently to smaller portions consumed by those with smaller appetites and thus frames. It would be akin to demanding that UPS and FedEx charge the same price for all parcels regardless of size and weight. The fact of the matter is, buying a plane ticket, what that ticket buys is it guarantees you a certain amount of surface area for the duration of the flight. It's not any type of guarantee of a particular kind of experience per se. When you buy a plane ticket, you're just buying a limited amount of surface area on the plane where your body is meant to fit. And when it comes to things pertaining to size and weight, that impacts all areas of flight operations and the costs on consumers. For instance, when it comes to excess baggage, every passenger, if they have too large or too heavy of a bag, they have to cough up more money at any airline, across the globe. They have to cough up more money if the bag is too heavy or if the bag is too big. Ergo, the same applies to the person's size of their body. If you have a circumference that, encompasses 2-3 seats, yeah, you need to pay for 2 or 3 seats, just like the person next to you who had to pay a couple extra $100 because their bag was 75 pounds. For outlets like CNN to try to take the morbidly obese and turn them into some kind of a press class, it's laughable. It's funny. Because when it comes to the oppressors of the morbidly obese, those individuals only have one person to blame when it comes to their life being difficult, and they can typically find that person in front of a mirror.
It's your fault. And so those of you who say healthy at any size, you're completely delusional. It's calories in, calories out. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much the long and short of it. Go ahead and drop your thoughts on the matter in the comments section below. Whether you agree with me, you think, yeah, Greg, this is getting pretty ridiculous, and of course it is CNN. Or whether you're more against me and you think maybe I'm just being mean or rude or we should be more compassionate to the morbidly obese. Or whether you're somewhere in the middle where you think it's hey, maybe plane seats could be bigger, but also we shouldn't accommodate anything and everything just because somebody's fat. Whatever your thoughts are, go ahead and drop it in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, that was the breakdown. Peace.
Hey, this is Greg Hoyt from The Breakdown. If you're new here and checking out the channel on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at GregHoytLET.